Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's the Nerd Talk crew back with another episode of Nerd Talk, episode 141. I'm here with my co-host, Mind of a Nerd, aka Tyler. Tyler, aka Mind of a Nerd. What's going on, my guy?
Nothing, man. It's been a day. It has been a day. I stood home today. I wasn't working today, but it has been a day. And I'm ready to get into it. It's gonna get good. In the words of Deadpool, it's gonna get good, nerds. Get your special sock out, nerds.
Yeah, you just put your sock on. It's gonna get good. Yeah, my day was cool. Nice and calm. Just finished cleaning up my house, cleaned the hell out of my bathroom. Me and my wife redid our bathroom, which if you guys are adults and you guys redo your house, it feels a really good feeling to walk in, walk out, and look at what you did and what you've done. But enough that being said, I'm ready to get into our topics today. We only have 2 topics today. They're probably going to be pretty long topics, but I'm ready to get into it. So let's go ahead and start with the first one, man. Cobra Kai. It's over, guys. It's over. Well, we're getting a Karate Kid movie, but we don't really count that. But for the Cobra Kai series, it's over. Now, obviously, I came to the show late. I didn't watch the show when it first released. Obviously, it was on YouTube Red first, and then Netflix picked it up, and then they did the rest of the series.
I just want to say really quick, we're not going to spend too much time on Cobra Kai. I know most of the time people come in for the main topic. We're probably going to spend like 20 minutes on Cobra Kai, and then we'll talk about Captain America. Don't be like, oh, they're talking about Cobra Kai, I'm leaving. No, just chill, because this is kind of a big deal.
Yes. But yeah, the show is over. It was a great ride. I'm very happy I got into the show. Like I said, I was a fan of the first. Right. Thank you. It's always been on my radar, but it's one of those things, kind of like Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones is always on my radar, but people telling me, watch it. I'm like, okay, I will get to it. And this show was kind of the same way. I was like, okay, I'll watch it when I watch it. I'll watch it when I watch it. And then obviously it was one of those days where you just have nothing else to do. It's like, all right, let me watch it. And after that, I just binged I almost binged the entire series within a week, not even. Yeah, season 6, guys. And they split it into 3 parts. We talked about the first part. We didn't get to talk about the second part because Tyler didn't watch it when it released. So now we're going to talk about part 2 and part 3 combined because Tyler just finished watching it today. My thoughts on part 2 after going over it. I watched it twice. I watched it once by myself, then watched it with my little brother. And I like it. I think I like it more than part 1. My issue with part 1 is that was it felt like a lot of setup and stuff like that. But I did like part 2. I know some of the stuff can be monotonous, especially with the teen drama bull crap, the whole Robbie and Tori stuff. That was just so irritating the whole time because they keep telling Tori, like, hey, we don't care about what's going on. You need to talk to us because we're your friends at the end of the day. Like, why are you pushing us away because of what's going on in your life? Like, your friends are supposed to help you solving your problems. But she was just not having that. And that kind of bugged me out about that. But overall, I actually liked the Saikai Kai tournament. I did like the way they presented all that stuff. Yeah, some of the mini games kind of seemed like kind of confusing and you really didn't know what was going on. But I did like some of those fights. I like the moments in those. Especially there's a moment where Miguel, I guess they're on this podium and they get knocked off. And of course, Robbie gets freaking confused with looking at Tori and he gets kicked off. And, Miguel's the last one. He tells Robbie, like, let me show you how it's done. He literally just annihilates, if I'm not mistaken, 3 people at one time. It's like, is he not the GOAT of this show?
It was 2, but it was still great.
Yeah, like the fact he just took on 2 guys at the same time. And then at the end, it's like, yeah, he's the GOAT of this dojo. He should have been captain. He wasn't lying. He should have been the captain. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into part 3 because that's the one I really want to talk about. Part 2 was cool. Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead and give your thoughts on part 2. Like I said, I really don't want to get. I want to get into it really towards the end of part 3. That's what I really want to talk about.
So part 2 came out at a bad time for me. I was at the peak of school, and so I was just like, yo, I don't got time to be sitting. I know it was only 5 episodes, but I was just like, yo, I do not have the time to be doing this, bro. So so much time had passed by. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just wait till part 3 comes out. And then part 3 came out, and I was kind of just like, I'm kind of trying to go through the Iron Fist and all this shit to catch up to Daredevil. But Alex was like, oh, if you watch it, we can put it in the notes for Nerd Talk. I was like, all right, fine. Part 2 was okay. I remember really enjoying part 1. I mean, really enjoying part 1. Watching part 2 made me question if I liked part 1 as much as I did. Part 2 to me just felt like a lot of filler to me. Like the last 2 episodes were excellent. My issue with the finale of part 2 is that while the brawl was cool, you
Bro,
always gotta have a fucking brawl at this
but
point.
yo, oh my god, yo, go ahead. I want to talk about the brawl.
I liked the brawl and it was cool, but I was like, where the fuck did this come from? Like just out of nowhere.
The
It
battle
was
royale
just
at this point. Battle royale.
it was a battle
Somebody
royale. I
should
was
just
like,
yell battle royale.
yeah, I was like, good lord. Like it was a cool fight, but I was just like, this came out of nowhere, sure. And even the end, I heard a lot of people, we are in spoilers, like, oh, a kid died. I was like, oh man, a kid died. Man, I gotta watch this. I watch it and I'm like, oh, that kid died.
I ain't gonna lie. When I was, because I was in the moment, like I was just so hyped, just seeing everyone just fighting, like everyone just fighting. You see, like Kenny get a nice moment, and then Hawk and Dimitri get a nice moment. They're fighting together because they've been fighting throughout the entire series, the entire time they're in Barcelona, and the fact that they finally became the Binary Brothers, which I did love that moment too, when they are like they have to tag in the person. And they was like, no, don't let the guy tag out. And they was doing all that stuff. I did love that. Cool. That moment is awesome too. When they was just confused of not tagging in Kenny because they did not know if he was working with Silver.
Stupid.
And then Kenny came in and just freaking ignite. Yo, the fact that he took out the dude. So
stupid.
He did a somersault and like uppercut. I was like, oh, yo, this dude Kenny. Y'all can stop sleeping on my dude Kenny. Stop sleeping on
That was so dumb, bro. Man flew in from all the way. What? He's gonna fly from the United States to freaking Barcelona to screw you guys over? Are you kidding me? Give me a break.
Yo, I was like, they were really.
Dude, he didn't even want to go.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. He didn't even want to go. Which, speaking of that, I have never screamed at the screen for something to happen, and when it happened, I screamed like a little girl. When Anthony showed up to this dude's house, I said, punch him in the face, punch him in the face, punch him in the fucking face, punch him. I said, yes, thank you. I was like, now hit him again.
But it's funny because now now he knows karate. So it's like you see them fighting and you see them on like, God damn it, karate. God damn it.
That was funny. There's also a lot of F-bombs in this season. Like a lot of F-bombs. I said,
yes, it is. I was digging it. I said, yeah, get real. Get real with us, man.
Part 3, man. Part 3 was easily probably the best stretch. But I'll talk about the 2 ending episodes in a second. My biggest issue is that, and we talked about this a bit earlier, but like, my biggest issue is that it feels like they treated each of the 5 episodes as their own mini seasons, and they didn't flow as a 15 episode long season. It flowed as 3 mini 5 episode seasons. The first episode starts slow, and then they get quicker and quicker with pacing. The last 2 episodes, bangers. That's every part.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Bizarre to me. Like, sure, the series finale feels like a series finale, but that was just a bizarre choice to me, and I didn't like that. And I feel like if they could have just taken out 5 episodes, and I promise you could have taken out 5 episodes from this show.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You could have taken out 3 episodes from part 2. You could have taken out 1 episode. Hell, there's an episode in part 3. The first episode, episode 11. I was like,
yeah, because now it's like it's kind of it feels like a first episode to a season because now we got to catch up with everyone after the events of the last episode. Yeah,
they do a time jump for no reason.
A whole month passes, and it's like, which I like the setup because like even like someone like Daniel, he's trying to get over everything. He's trying to move past these. Like, I don't care anymore. Karate, no, F that. I'm ready to move on. Of course, Johnny's the one that really wants it because of everything he's done in his life. He's like, I need this. I need this. I know I do. And it comes down really to Terry Silver coming out of the blue, like, because he needs this as much as everyone as well. I guess this is his last dying wish. Spoiler, he is dying. That's why he's so on this.
That is something
Obviously,
I very much liked. I like that.
Yes.
Now, what I didn't like is the fact that they throw that away, kind of, because they kind of back out on that.
They do and they don't, because like there's a moment where Silver is in the bathroom and he's like consoling himself and he's taking his pills, and he kind of drops them and they go down the drain. He's like, man, F it, I'm gonna die anyway. He's like, he has one of those consoling moments, and I don't think they throw it away because he gets crazier and crazier throughout the whole, this whole part because of that. Like to the point where like he literally is willing to physically hurt 2 kids and kidnap a wife and a daughter. Like he literally loses his mind towards his demise, really. And I kind of wish they wouldn't have went that far, but it's Terry Silver at the end of the day. Like he's a grown man torturing kids at this point, But yeah, going back to what you said about the way the seasons are split, I understand why they split it, because of the pacing. Now I feel like it'll be weird to watch this all as one whole thing because the pacing is going to be off throughout the entire season. But with this part specifically, I think I agree with these set of episodes are kind of the best of the whole season. Obviously we're building up. Even though they did the tournament, but it got canceled because of Quan dying. And then now we have to try to convince people to go back to the tournament after everything that had happened. And of course, the kids really do want to do it, even though everything that happened. Because it really came down to like they asked the kids, like, do y'all really want to do it? And they was like, hell yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Like, let's go ahead and do it. Which I did like. I mean, it could have been a whole thing where they didn't want to do it either, which that wasn't the case. It was really, I love that Terry Silver kind of just knew automatically who didn't want to do it. And it was Daniel, right? Daniel didn't want to do it. So I got to go and convince Daniel to do the tournament. But that scene was hilarious too when he did the test drive. That scene was hilarious. It's like, of course, it's only Terry Silver will do a test drive just to try to, convince Johnny to talk to Daniel. But yeah, let's go ahead and we might as well just get into the final 2 episodes, because that's really the meat of this season is the final 2 episodes. Everything else do kind of feel like filler. Like we get a moment where like they're fighting because Robbie is the episode before that, right? No, is he that same episode? He's not that same episode. Is the episode after that, right?
Yeah, he's the episode before, because the episode 13 ends with them announcing that Johnny has Cobra Kai again, and that Tori and Miguel are both in Cobra Kai.
Well, I will say the last 3 episodes are important because I think everything with Robbie, and and let's go ahead and talk about arcs, because the arcs with all these characters are phenomenal. I'm sorry to say, like if you look at where Robbie started from a troublemaking kid with no mother, no father, like he had nothing, literally to the point where he had his lights cut off in his house. He had nothing to get to the point he's at now, where he's literally accepting everything that he has, and he has everything. He has everything he would want. He has his friends, he has a girlfriend, he has his dad, he has karate. Like he has something he's really good at. For him to kind of like get kicked, cut out because he got injured. That's what got him out of the whole thing. Because Axel freaking broke his leg.
Can I talk about that for a second? That pissed me off because I was fine with that happening. But I hated that the ref was like, "Ooh, they got tangled." Dog, you literally saw him grab his fucking leg, bro. What do you mean he got tangled, bro? It's like, oh my god, bro.
To me, that was more writing, because they like, okay, we can't eliminate Axel because that automatically makes them the winners. Like we got to have another fight. That's what kind of brings in Miguel.
But I ain't gonna lie, with that this moment, is the first time that this has happened. Johnny did it in his tournament. He went for the leg.
Right. Exactly.
Like it's not the first time it's happened. They didn't have to say, "Oh, he should be disqualified." This is not new. It's happened.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
First, before anything, turn the Wi-Fi off on your phone, because your internet is fake cooked right now. You are looking like pixels. Episode 14. was probably I've never cheered and cried so happily more than I did watching this episode. I was literally the Tori fight was amazing, and I'm glad that she got her moment and she shined as normal. Tori is the absolute goat in terms of the female characters anyway on this show. Tori is way up here. Everyone else is down here, especially Sam. Sam is garbage to me, but I'm so glad that Tori got her moment, and I also love the fact that Tori always wins in the show. Always, she always wins. I don't think there's ever been a time in terms of a fight that she lost. I love the fact that in every fight she's had in the season, she wins. I love it. Um, but yeah, that fight was awesome. She kicked that bitch right in her throat. I loved it. Um, Miguel's
She
fight,
knocked her
man.
teeth out.
Miguel's
She
fight,
knocked her
man.
teeth out.
Yeah, she did. Miguel's fight. That I don't think I've ever been, holding my breath more than I was during that fight. Like, I figured he was going to win because I was like, okay, they're not gonna have Tori win and then have him lose. That doesn't make any sense. But man, that was excellent the way they did that. Him being down and then him making a comeback. It was excellent. It was amazing the way it was done, and it was the perfect underdog moment if I've ever seen it.
I'm gonna
And when
rewind it
it
back. Like I'm gonna rewind it back. Like even like when they announced that he Cobra Kai, he replaces
that was brilliant.
he replaces the male champion. Like seeing Tori and Miguel walk out together, because you got to think about back in season 2, they were a couple at a point. They were together in Cobra Kai together. To
Yeah,
see
that
both of them
is,
come out
you
and him
know,
look like a straight G. Like
Robbie is great. Robbie is great. Do not hear me take anything away from Robbie, but those two, Tori and Miguel, they were my goats for this show. And I love that Johnny finally got his moment. He finally got his moment. I truthfully thought he was gonna lose, but I did think the winning moment was a little anticlimactic because he just whacks him and then that was it. I expected him to do something crazy. Truthfully, this is what I was waiting for. I thought he was gonna do the crane kick. That's what I was waiting for.
I didn't want him to do a crane kick because that's not his move.
No, I know it's not his move. That's the
His
point.
move is sweeping the leg. That's his move. Because the
But
show is about him. It's not about Daniel.
I know, but it the reason that I thought he was going to do it was because Daniel told him earlier. He said the reason you fell for the crane kick is because you ran right into it. That's what I thought was going to happen. And if he would have done the fucking crane kick, I swear, I would have passed out. I swear, I think I would have passed out if that had happened. But regardless, I thought it ended very well. No tease for Karate Kid Legends.
Nope, I thought we were gonna get that at the end of the show.
I don't know what we're doing with that. I don't know if we're even gonna mention Cobra Kai and Karate Kid Legends. I hope so, but Cobra Kai has come to an end. You know, I love this show. It's a show that it got me through COVID, especially season 3. Seasons 1, 2, 3. It got me through COVID. It's a show I discovered through COVID, including the original movies as well. And I'm glad that it got its proper ending. Most shows don't get a proper ending. Most shows don't even get an ending. They just get canceled.
Yep. This one actually went
This
through from
show
beginning to end.
it got an ending, and sure, season 5 and 6 were a little rough, but I think it got a very satisfying ending for what it was. And I'm glad that I can say, you know what, at least it ended strong. It was a little rocky,
Yes.
but it ended
Yes.
strong and it ended the way it was supposed to. And I'm not mad about it
Yes.
at all.
Yes, man. With Johnny ending with being married, like I love that scene when she's literally about to have the baby, and he has this whole plan where he's about to do his proposal, and she is giving birth. He's like, man, F it, I gotta propose, I gotta get married while she's in the hospital. And it's a great moment. That's the moment where I was almost about to cry too. I'm like, man, it's just so great, man. Like, shout out to to the actor who played Johnny, man. Like
Also the
he
moment
killed
with Johnny and
he killed it.
Crease. The moment with
Yes.
Johnny and Crease was great.
Yes,
I
he
love
killed it.
that.
He killed it. He killed it this season. He killed these last episodes. Like we get in the last episode, we get a flashback of him walking to his mother's grave and he's nothing, and then he gets to come back and he doesn't have to say anything. He just dropped flowers in a photo and just walks away. He don't have to say anything. His life is good. Like he got the house for his wife and his kid. They all their other children are going to do great things. Robbie is about to become a megastar with Tori. Miguel is going to Stanford and he's going to, spend time with Sam while she's in Okinawa. Like, I just Hawk and Dimitri are going to school together. Like, we get great moments, which I don't know if you guys caught that, but there's a scene in one of the seasons where Hawk talked about the car that he was going to get. He was going to put a blue stripe on it. We actually get to see the car with the blue stripe. And it's a small, minute thing. Most people would have probably looked over, but he talked about he was going to do that, and he actually did it. I agree with you. I love that the show ended strong. Like you said, most seasons don't. Usually the last season is the worst season. I don't believe this is the worst season of the show.
Not at all.
So, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think this show has a bad season.
No,
I don't think it has a bad season at all. Which
season 3 is the weakest season, but it's not that bad.
It gets better. How many shows can you say that about? Rarely any. Like, there's literally at least one show that has a bad season. I'm gonna say Game of Thrones because most people don't like season 8. But this show has 6 strong seasons and it's definitely worth watching. If you guys have not watched it, definitely check it out. I don't even think you need to be I don't think you even need to be a Karate Kid fan to watch this show. I think you'll still get the enjoyment out of it. If anything, it'll make you go back and watch the movies, if anything, so you can learn about where this all came from. Got any more thoughts before we move on to our main topic?
No, man. I'm just, like I said, I'm very happy that Cobra Kai got its proper ending, and truthfully, looking at the Karate Kid franchise, it's kind of still strong right now. Just kind of crazy. It is a behemoth of a franchise. Yeah,
it is. I'm ready for Legends. I'm ready to watch it. Let's see if they do mention anything with Cobra Kai. Let's see if they mention anything about it, because it just feel like that movie doesn't really touch that. But we'll see, because they're even going to a different city. They're going to be in New York City. They're not even going to be in California. So who knows? Maybe they won't talk about it just because they're in another city. But let's go ahead and if you guys have watched Cobra Kai, any of the show, if you watched season 6, let us know what you guys thought about in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and move on to our main topic of the day. And of course, we'll talk about Captain America: Brave New World. Spoiler talk. We're going to talk about all spoilers, everything we thought about the movie. So if you guys have not seen the movie, put this on your watch later, go see the movie, come back, and you can hear our thoughts. Tyler, you want to start us off?
No, you can start because you didn't do a review.
Yeah, I didn't do a review. I saw it late. I just saw it last night, which was perfect for today's stream, because I got to feel if I would have saw it Thursday, I probably would have forgot a lot of things that happened in this movie. Because sorry to say, this movie is kind of forgettable. I did like the movie, but I can see myself not really remembering a decent amount in this movie if I wouldn't have seen it when I saw it. Now, I did give it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, because I did enjoy it. I did like it for what it was, but it's a very low 4 out of 5, like low. Like, it's like literally if 3.5 is right here, it's right there. That's where it's at. It's so close. I gotta think if I watch this again, my score might drop. Like, it probably will drop. But I like I said, I think the action was pretty good. Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, Captain America, he was good. I didn't mind the sidekick. I know a lot of people did not like the sidekick. I didn't mind the sidekick at all. I didn't think he was, irritating. Harrison Ford. Let's go and talk about it. Harrison Ford was good. I mean, it's Harrison Ford. I mean, what do we expect? He's mostly good in everything he does. Yeah, the CGI is not very good. The green screen is very wonky. Red Hulk looks awesome. Sorry to say, Red Hulk do look awesome. He does. When he showed up on screen, I'm like, hey, he does look pretty badass. And the leader, Very forgettable villain. Barely did anything besides spit one-liners and, you know, wanted to sound very calculated, but barely did anything. Which I guess that's what type of villain he is, I guess. But I don't know that much about the leader, besides what I've read. But overall, I thought the movie was okay. Like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was very mid. It felt very like filler. Like if you told me like what movies do I need to watch to lead up to this would not be on the list because it really doesn't really do anything besides bring Antimantium into the series. That's really the only thing it does is bring in Animanium. That's the only thing it does. Everything else just feels like straight filler. That's all it feels.
It is becoming very exhausting to be a fan of the MCU in one shape or another. There was a time where I would defend this franchise to the ends of the earth. I would say, oh, it's not bad. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, these are cinema. You don't know. These aren't products. What are you talking about? The the past 3 years, I know people say 2021. I don't stretch it that far. I blame 2021 on the amount of projects we got, not the quality of projects, because I think truthfully, every project we got in 2021 was great to good, you know. Um since 2023, I feel like this franchise has just I don't know what it's been doing, but it has just been hard to be a fan. Walking into this movie, I was not excited. The trailers to this movie were very good. I was excited to see Anthony Mackie in his leading movie, but I was not excited for this movie. The drama, which we'll talk about, was very off-putting, and I smelled the disaster from a mile away because this isn't our first rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, Captain America: Brave New World was not bad. It was pretty okay. Did I enjoy my time? Yes. Were there things in this movie that I very much liked? Yes. Did I think did it restore some faith? Yes. Some. Some faith. Yes. Do I think we're back? No. At all. No. Do I think the MCU is back on track? No. I don't. And I feel like people, for lack of a better term, are so trigger happy when it comes to that phrase of, oh, we're back. The MCU is back. We had a hiccup, but we're back. No, we're not. We are the furthest from the phrase we are back because I feel like we have so many steps to go right now. We have Deadpool Wolverine was good, but I don't really count that movie as a MCU movie. If I'm going to be honest, that movie is cameo porn for 2 hours with very little plot. Sorry, that is the truth about Deadpool and Wolverine. I very much like Deadpool and Wolverine, but with that said, it really does nothing for Phase 5 or the Multiverse Saga. Sorry. We got Quantum Mania. Quantum Mania killed the big bad, both figuratively and literally, and made us lose faith in him. And, drama aside, I don't think people were walking into Kang's Dynasty all that interested. Then we got the Marvels. Didn't do a whole lot either. I very much enjoyed the Marvels. So did Alex. But what did that do for things that are happening now?
Besides the post-credit scene.
of which we still haven't heard anything about. So that
Nope.
I don't care about that. Now we have this. Now we have this. And I'm not even talking about the shows. The shows are fucking worthless. All of them. That of recent memory, all of them are fucking worthless. You know, I don't think we're gonna really get Loki back, so I'm not counting Loki. If we get Loki back in Doomsday or Secret Wars, sure. What are we doing? Seriously, ask yourself that question. What the fuck are we doing? And before anyone says, "Oh well, we got a post-credit scene at the end of Brave New World," spare me, spare me. It was a post-credit scene that did nothing. It was a
Because
post-credit scene.
that could have been at the end of the movie. They didn't have to put that as the post credit scene.
It was a post-credit scene that did nothing and only said, "Hey, you know that threat that we promised you? Yeah, it's still coming." Okay. Now, granted, is Fantastic Four gonna do some setting up? Sure. But the point is, we are knee deep into this multiverse saga where Phase 4 is done and concluded, and now we have Phase 5. Does it feel like we're setting up for a fucking Avengers movie? Because my God, does it not to me? Not at all. And, moving away from the quality of this film, can you seriously sit there with a straight face and tell me you're excited for Avengers Doomsday? I
Nope.
know I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not at all. Are you excited for Avengers Secret Wars? I know I'm
Nope.
not.
Nope. I was just talking. I was talking to my coworker about this because I was telling him I went to see Brave in the World, and I was like, my issue with these last movies we've been getting is we're supposed to be setting up to the big event, and at this point, if we go back to the Infinity Saga, how many movies did we get before we led to Infinity War? Look at how many projects we done got overall, and there's still no mention of any. We get the mention of Avengers in this movie, but who is the lineup? Who are the Avengers now? Who is qualified enough to be a part of this team? We don't know anyone besides what movies we've gotten from them. So, like, for example, Shang-Chi. We don't know whether or not he's actually gonna be a part of this new Avengers team. We don't know anything. Um, the Eternals, obviously, they're never touching the Eternals ever again. It's like it is to me. It just we're getting a lot of filler, and we're getting. I love the thing you said. What you said a couple of days ago. We're getting a lot of amusement park movies, a lot of theme park movies. That's all we're getting. Is they want a reaction from us, and we're not getting substance. We're not getting stories. We're just getting ooh, ah, yay. That's all we're
Yeah.
getting.
Yeah, I truthfully I don't want another movie like Deadpool and Wolverine ever again. And from what I've heard about Secret Wars, that's what it sounds like it's gonna be. I don't want that at all. Um, moving away from that, the movie itself, I thought the movie was pretty good. I thought it's very formulaic, and I have many fucking issues with it. But I thought the movie was okay. The other thing that's pissed me off the past couple of days is the reaction to this movie. I feel sorry for anybody that's been on Twitter since Thursday night because my God, they did the test screening. They did the press screenings for this movie, to which it had like a 48% or something on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, and everyone was like, "Oh, how can the critics do this? Oh man, I can't believe the critics hated this movie. What's wrong with the critics?" First of all, you must not know how Rotten Tomatoes works. I'm convinced most people that complain about Rotten Tomatoes don't know how Rotten Tomatoes works. Plain and simple. Number two, it is okay to not like a movie. It is okay. If you saw a movie that everyone hates and liked it, why the fuck do you feel the need to come on your phone and say, oh my God, I can't believe everyone's hating this. Oh my God, why can't everyone just have fun? Shut the fuck up. Please. It is so annoying to hear people screaming at each other and arguing over a movie that is, truth be told, fucking worthless. It is annoying to hear everyone crying about a fucking MCU movie that in 3 months, I promise you, will not matter. I promise you it will not matter. If you disagree with somebody over a film opinion, it is okay. That is the point of film discussion.
Yep.
It is not that fucking serious. You're really in screaming matches with people on Twitter over a fucking Captain America movie? Are you out of your mind? Not sure. Do I think the movie's that bad? No. But I've seen people, let's see what all the hate is about. They come out of it. What are you guys talking about? That movie was a banger. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10? If you walked out of this movie and thought it was an 8 out of 10, I have some concerns. Legit concerns. That's neither here nor there. The point is, if you saw this movie and didn't like it, I understand why you didn't like it. Because we've been seeing the same shit since 2008. It's 2025. I understand why people don't like this. Because it is very much low-key a Phase 1 movie. It is. It's a sequel to a Phase 1 movie, truth be told. And it feels like a sequel to a Phase 1 movie. It is okay to not like the movie. There is nothing wrong with critics watching the movie and saying, man, I wanted so much more out of it. I feel the same way. I like the movie, but the whole entire movie, I was desperate for something deeper and richer. There used to be a time where these were all bangers. Now we're in a time where, it wasn't a disaster. It's good enough. Like, do you not see a fucking problem with that? But no, you guys want to jump down everyone's throats because, this person didn't like this movie. How about you just watch it, and if you liked it, cool. Move on. Move on. I know people that I loved Nosferatu in the theater. I gave it a 5 out of 5. That was my number 3 or 4 movie of the year. I know people that fucking hated it. Do I agree? Absolutely not. But you don't see me jumping on Letterboxd or Twitter and complaining about it. It is not that serious. Now, obviously, Nosferatu is not in the same caliber as Captain America: Brave New World, sure. But the point still stands. I know people that Wicked was my favorite movie of 2024. I know people that were like, it's mid. I don't understand the hype. Cool. More for me. Cool. If you watched the movie and you liked it, it is okay. What is the point? What is the point of all the toxicness? This is why this is low-key. The fandom is one of the main reasons why the MCU is in shambles, because everyone is just arguing with each other. Nobody just knows how to watch something and move on. It's to the point where I don't want to talk about this movie because I'm like, y'all are really getting bent out of shape over a Captain America movie where he fights the Hulk? Are you serious? I don't know. It's just it's fucking bizarre to me.
Yeah. You want to start getting into specifics, like actual moments in the movie? Because I feel like that will really clarify why we feel the way we feel. Like, obviously, there's certain... They did reshoots, and you can tell they did reshoots.
Why are your camera off, bro?
Huh?
Why is your camera off? I want to see you.
My bad. I feel like now that when my camera's off, the Wi-Fi is not stupid. When I put it on, the Wi-Fi bars show up. Because the Wi-Fi bars is like, now look, it's my quality is gonna be terrible. But that's why I had it off. But yeah, Like you definitely can tell there's definitely reshoots, there's stuff taken out, there's scenes that's in the trailer that's not in this movie. And even though the movie flies by kind of for no reason. At least for me, it feels like it flies.
I don't know
I
about
feel like,
that.
well, what I mean by that is just like, so like when I was watching it, like once we got to the celestial scene, like where them going to Celestial Island, like it just flew because we already got to the ending with Red Hulk. Like it felt like it just went by like with a snap of a finger.
Because it was
Now
actually
to get there, it was like, okay, yeah, we're treading, like, even though some of the action sequences were cool, but it is really.
I want to start with the positive before, because there's so much negative shit I want to talk about, but I do want to start with positives. You know, I know everybody, oh, he's so negative. Why is he so negative? Bitch, here's your positive. Okay. The cast, 98% of the cast in this movie was very good. Anthony Mack, the acting in this movie, truth be told, was better than I thought it was going to be. And it's kind of better than it has any right to be for an MCU movie. Anthony Mackie was very good as Captain America. If, you know, I feel confident in calling him Captain America. I thought he was very good in the performance. You know, he's been in this universe for 11 years now. But
yeah, right. Crazy.
I thought he was very good. His character was very well written. And by the end of the movie, I very much wanted to see him leading an Avengers team. I was very happy with his role in the movie, and he is the furthest thing wrong with this movie by far.
Can we just say this though? Like, just take the serum, bro. Like at this point, just take the serum. I'm sorry. It's like I'm watching this movie and he's getting folded. It's like maybe that's the point. Like he doesn't need the serum. And Bucky did say that too
because he still wins.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Which spoiler, there's no, even though I said that in spoiler talk, Bucky shows up and I love that scene. He tells him specifically, like, he didn't pick you because you're the strongest. He picked you because you're you. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because it's funny throughout the entire movie, he's questioning himself because he doesn't feel like he's strong enough. Like he doesn't feel like he's strong enough physically to do some of these things. Because it's so fun. I love that at the end, after he's done fighting Hulk, he's like, Bucky is full of shit. I should have just took the serum. Like I should have just took it. But at the end of the day, that's not what wanted him to fight. Like it was him at the end of the day that did.
Exactly. So he shouldn't have taken the serum.
Yeah.
That's the point. He doesn't need it.
It's so far. I was just saying, like even like the first action sequence when they're getting the animanium and antimantium. Why could I call him like that? But he's like fighting this guy and he's getting folded, like he's getting dogged. And I'm like, well, he's not a super soldier. That's why. And I'm like, damn, Sam. Like if you would just took the serum, you wouldn't have to be going through none of this. You'll be skilled enough to fight these people. But I'm like, no, that's not the point.
That's the point of the movie, bro.
Exactly.
I very much like that he did not take the serum. That I know people will say, "Oh, well, that doesn't really distinguish Sam." Yes, it does. To me, it does. Especially the scene where he tells him the serum does not make you Captain America. You as a person makes you Captain America. That scene right there, I was like, that is why I love Sam as Captain America, bro. He does not need the fucking serum. And I'm tired of people telling me otherwise. He did not need the serum, bro. He is Captain America. Sure. Does he have a vibranium shield and vibranium wings and nanotech helmets? Sure. But at the end of the day, he still held his own. And that's what I care about the most.
Which seeing, because I was not a fan of the white costume, seeing it in this movie, I liked it more in this than it is Falcon Winter Soldier. Obviously, there's less of the cow, I think, or everything. The stuff I didn't like the stuff around his neck. Like he has something on his neck that was connected to the goggles or something. I didn't like all that. It's not in this movie. He just has goggles, with just the suit, which I like that better. I do like all the nano stuff. I love that he got Wakanda stuff. Like the fact that he got the vibration thing where like he absorbs everything, and I love that he has that because like, oh, nice. It's a callback kind of to Black Panther too at the same time. Which I like that. I loved all that.
Harrison Ford, man. I had my concerns about Harrison Ford, not because Harrison Ford is not a good actor. Harrison Ford is a very good actor. That's not why I had concerns. I had concerns because he was kind of being just thrown into this universe. Obviously William Hurt passed away. May he rest in peace. He was playing Thunderbolt Ross before, and
Mhm.
they wanted to bring this character back, and I thought Harrison Ford did a absolute excellent job in this movie. He has easily some of my favorite scenes in this movie, and you know I'm happy that he did the motion capture, at least the face for the Red Hulk, because he looks amazing as the
Yes, he
Red Hulk.
does.
But I thought he was very good, and he stepped into this role as if he'd been playing it for years.
Yes, he did.
And I don't know how much he wants to do in the MCU. I don't know how many movies he wants to do. For all we know, by the third movie he ends up doing, he wants it to be like Star Wars. It's like, oh, fucking kill me already. I'm sick of this shit.
Right. Right.
Um, but I'm more than happy to see him return as Thunderbolt Ross. I thought he was excellent.
Yes.
Um, Giancarlo Esposito
Very
for
underutilized.
the 30 seconds that he was in this movie was excellent,
He was a
as
lot more
always.
scenes, not just that. I thought he was just going to be in one scene and then he shows up
Oh,
again.
he's
Like
in 3 minutes of that movie, bro.
yeah, but the scenes that he was in, he did leave an impact where I did wanted to see more. Like I wanted to see
Of
more
course
from
he
him.
left an impact. He's fucking Giancarlo Esposito.
Right.
The
Yeah.
man could
It's just the
breathe
actor.
and he'd give a good performance. That's not my issue. My issue is, you know, you know what? No, I'm just gonna save it for later.
It's so funny
He was
because
very
wasn't he was not supposed to be in the movie, right? He was a last addition
no.
to the movie.
We'll talk about it later. No, he was not. But he was very good for what he was given in this movie, and seeing that he does not die, hopefully this means he can come back, and I
Yeah,
hope
he
that
will
he
come back.
does because he was
He will come back.
genuinely he up until he showed up, I was miserably bored with the movie. When he showed up, I shot out of my seat. I said, "Okay," and I'm not
Yeah.
talking about. I'm,
That,
I'm talking about after the opening. Um, Isaiah Bradley. I forgot. I
yes, I was
forgot
about to
the
say this
actor's
probably
name.
was yes.
Sorry, but
Yes.
Isaiah Bradley was excellent once again,
Yes. Yes.
and might be my favorite part about this movie. Legit.
Yes.
He was excellent again, just like he was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon
His
Winter
story
Soldier.
is
Yep.
very investing, and I
Yep.
want to see more of him. Stop using
Yes.
him only for now. It could be on the actor because the actor is, he's up there in age. But you know what?
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is 82 years old, so that's no excuse.
Right.
Um, he was very good. He's very good. He has some of the best scenes in the movie.
Yes.
The action was very good,
Yes. Yes.
minus the opening, which I had my issues with. But the big set pieces were very good. There was
Yes. The,
there's
the aerial scene, the whole
yes,
Celestial Island scene, I
Top
thought was
Gun,
awesome.
the Top Gun
Awesome.
aerial action sequence in IMAX was
Yes.
phenomenal. I look,
Yes.
I saw it with Kevin, and I looked over at him. I said that was fucking awesome, like straight up,
It
that was
was.
awesome.
It was.
And the third act Red Hulk fight was excellent. I thought it was very good.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun seeing
Yes.
the Red Hulk destroy the White House and shit. That was
Right.
cool.
Basically,
You know,
grab Sam and basically toss him through the White House.
and
Like, oh,
someone made a point. I was like, yeah, it feels good to see a Hulk destroying shit again. I was like, yeah,
yes,
it does.
yes, yeah. We don't
More
get
of
that
it,
no more.
please. More of
We
it,
don't get that.
please. Um,
Out of control Hulk too. Like he was just not caring.
the story of this movie. Oh boy. Um, First of all, let's hit these comments, shall we? Mark Thomas says I gave Brave New World a 3.5 out of 10. It was very mid. I agree on it being mid. I don't know about a 3.5 out of 10. He also said Cobra Kai never dies. No, it does not. Kevin
I'm sure
Davis says
he probably meant 5. I don't think he meant 10.
Kevin Davis says no matter if the film writing was good or had good reviews from critics, folks already had their minds made up. And yes, I can agree with that to a T. But if it's my personal recommendation, I would say just wait for Disney Plus. That's just my personal opinion. But okay, yes, he said 3.5 out of 5. Yes, that was
Okay,
my score too.
I was right. I was
Um, the story to this movie is a fucking mess. So we start the movie with Thunderbolt Ross, and I'm not gonna get into beat for beat. Just I'm gonna put it on fast forward, if you will. We see Thunderbolt Ross. He's getting prepared to take the presidency. You know, and we kind of see the state of the world, and it's kind of chaotic. And I also loved how they showed him with the mustache. That was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, we get it.
It
Yeah, we
was
get
funny.
one moment him in the mustache. And I kind of like they. It's funny because they kind of did like the Iron Man 2 thing where he's like, I love the new look, and clearly we're talking about he's a different actor, but he throws in, well, they said if I had to lose the mustache or lose the election. It's like, okay, I like that. I like that line.
But the story setup basically is that uh Thunderbolt Ross wants to rebuild the Avengers. He literally says that word verbatim, that he wants to rebuild the Avengers and he wants Sam help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that that is a thing. And I'm so glad that they don't drop it. I'm glad that at the end of this movie, it is a focal point. I'm
Right.
so glad because, my God, does this universe just feel so hopeless without a fucking Avengers team? Jesus.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I think he picked a bad time considering we have no time to build an Avengers team, but
Right.
I don't we know whose fault that is. But I like that that is a thing. I wish that would have happened sooner because this should have happened sooner. This should have happened right after Endgame because everyone
Yeah.
kind of went all over the place.
Yeah.
That should have been the thing after Endgame.
I know it's probably going off a different way, but I kind of feel like this movie should have came out at a different time. I think the reason why we feel like this with this movie is because where it's at now. Like if this movie would have came out, let's say 2022, like it feels better.
It should have been like
I
around
just
that
think
time.
that's why I think why we feel like this. This movie feels late. It just feels like a late movie, kind of like how Black Widow felt. Like that movie took place way earlier than it was supposed
Black
to.
Widow feels way later than this, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just
It
like I
says,
think it's really the placement
and
of this
Anthony
movie.
Mackie is still going to lead as Sam Wilson. Yes, he will, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So basically, he wants to rebuild the.
Unless they find a way to bring Chris Evans back on some bullshit.
They want to rebuild the Avengers, and they want Sam's help, and they invite him, Isaiah Bradley, and Joaquin to the White House. The opening action sequence is them stealing animanium from the Serpent Society, which it's kind of crazy that we got the Serpent Society because we were supposed to a while ago.
And Civil War. That was supposed to be the title for Civil War, but he changed
I
it. He saw
wish
BBS was
that,
like, you know what? We're gonna do Civil War.
yeah, I wish that it mattered, but you know,
That was
whatever.
another throwaway thing.
But anywho, so the U.S. steals animanium, and they reveal that the Celestial is made up of antimantium, which obviously is a retcon. That's not a thing in the comments. I like that. I like that they. Remington Key says I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Nice. I like that it gives the Celestial sticking out of the ocean meaning. It's not just a statue sticking out of the ocean.
Right.
And this is them nudging to X-Men, obviously.
Right.
What was I gonna say? So I figured after seeing the trailers, we see Isaiah tries to kill Thunderbolt Ross. Watching the movie, I was like, something has to happen, and surely we see that he was, like when after
he was
the
hypnotized.
he chases him, that they get to the park, he's like, oh, what's going on? I said, yeah, he's possessed or something.
He was hypnotized, yeah. Which you all kind of felt that. I think in the trailer they kind of hit that too, because he's very stone faced when he's doing everything.
And the mystery of the movie is, oh well, what possessed Isaiah, and what's going on. The setup is cool. The setup is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of Isaiah getting arrested and Um, you know that setting kicking off the movie. I like that idea. I said, okay, fine. Kevin says, I understand y'all want good storytelling and pushing the envelope with MCU's. Disney never going to take that risk because they don't want to lose their family audience.
I disagree.
I don't know about that.
When we have said the same movie. We have the sequel to this movie. We have Winter Soldier. Winter
They
Soldier did.
they've pushed the envelope numerous times without losing their family audience. That's not
Yes.
their problem. Um, where we get messy is when they start investigating it. We keep hearing what do they keep calling the leader? They keep calling him something like the buyer or some shit. Isn't that what they keep
Yeah,
calling him?
yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
Because they figure out they think it's like I won't say like a drug deal, but it's more like some type of deal that's going on that they're trying to the buyer is trying to get the animanium for himself, but really
they
it's not even about that. It's the leader is trying to. I'm gonna just we obviously a spoiler talk. The buyer ended up being the leader, which is the character from Incredible Hulk, which I did like. They did call back Incredible Hulk. We actually got to finally see the Harlem thing again. They brought that in again. Well, at least in the movie. I know we saw it in She-Hulk, but they actually brought that into this movie, which I like. So Incredible Hulk does exist. If you guys don't want to count that, that movie does exist. But I do like they did do that little callback. But yeah, the leader wants to basically destroy Thunderbolt Ross because he's been holding him captive for 16 years, making him do all these things for him to get to the position that he is. Well, actually, he promised that he was going to let him go when he become president, and he didn't let him go when he became president. So his plan was to, basically ruin Thunderbolt Ross's character and stuff like that.
damn. Um, the the thing that kind of sets off the movie is that like Giancarlo Esposito says like, "Oh, somebody tipped me off," and Sam is like, "Oh, somebody was wasting your time." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna find out who was wasting my time." He said he says it just like that because Giancarlo Esposito says everything like this with the emphasis. I love him.
Yes,
I love Giancarlo
yes,
Esposito.
yes. He needs to come back to the boys.
So we get this action sequence, which was what? Listen, before I say anything, it was a very good action sequence. This is not my issue with it. My issue was one, it is the same exact sequence as the sequence from Winter Soldier when the cops attack Nick Fury. It is the same sequence. It starts the exact same. You
Yeah,
know,
Sam is driving, and then he just gets ambushed. He gets ambushed.
you can tell the Serpent Society was supposed to be the main threat. Well, yes, because for those who watch wrestling, Seth Rollins was supposed to be a character in the movie, and he got cut. And so did another lady with this pink hair or something that was from the comics. She got cut too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the movie wasn't reshot. Um, this action sequence was very good. It was very good. Yes, we'll talk about this.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
this is true.
Yep.
This action sequence was very good. I liked how it was shot. The sound design was excellent too. That I liked how everything sounded and all that, and I thought the choreography was really good. I wish it was longer.
That I was about to say it was too short. It was too short. It's like he kind of, they talked a little bit. He shot at him, and then that was it. Sam pulled up this plan, made the smoke bomb or some smoke, diffusion, and then he kicked him, and that's it. It's like,
but I do like how they established Sidewinder's this villain that he's straight business. He lit up the car, he threw the grenade. He was like, "Oh, stand by for confirmation of death." I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
He's like, I got paid to kill you. I would have killed you for free.
I would have killed you for free.
Get it for free.
Oh, so good. So I love that man. I do. I love that man.
But
and
he kind of fucks up because I can't get him as now. So I would love to see him as a Magneto, but now he can't be any of those characters. He can't be Professor X or Magneto.
Listen,
he would have been awesome Magneto.
He gave me my first frame of entertainment of this movie in 45 minutes. I'll take what I can get.
He would have been an awesome Magneto. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, he would have. He would have been an awesome anything. Come on.
Yeah, for sure.
But So we go from there, and then they gotta like just investigate this all this crap, and I'm just like, oh God, I don't care about any of this shit. I don't care about any of this. Like, I should care because Isaiah is like on the line. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna give him the death penalty possibly. But like, I was like, why do I not care about any of this? They keep just talking about nonsense. So they finally
Mhm.
get to this place, and I know I'm forgetting certain characters. We'll talk about them in a second, but I just want to get to the boring parts before we talk about the good parts. But they get to this like campsite, and then they're like, "Oh, the leader was like doing these tests or whatever," and Isaiah and Thunderbolt Ross were two of the people, and then that's when they meet the leader. They're like, "Oh," and the leader's like, "I calculated that you guys were gonna do this, and I calculated that Sidewinder was gonna do this and this." I'm like, did you really? Like,
I calculated every scenario. I knew that this was going to happen. So I set up a plan where you guys are going to get trapped. You gotta have to fight all these
he
guys.
he's he was a villain with his head up his ass. He was like that he thought he was so smart, but in the end he gets captured anyway. It's like, no, you're a fucking
Right.
idiot. Um Matthew, I would watch it again, question mark. Well, I saw it twice already, so I'll wait till 4K.
Would I watch it again? I obviously I'm gonna buy the 4K when it comes out. I'm gonna buy the Steelbook if they do announce a Steelbook. But would I watch it again? Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
His plan didn't make sense because it was changed last minute. Well, so were a lot of things in this movie. Um, the leader, boy. Um,
Nothing
I
villain. Nothing.
appreciate. No, I didn't like him as a villain at all. I appreciate the fact that his look did not look overly CGI. I think
Yes.
I
I
don't
think
know
most
if
of
it
that
was
was
makeup.
practical.
I
I think
don't know
most of
if it
that
was
was practical.
practical or not, but it looked like it. It didn't look like I was looking at an effect, minus one scene, which I'll talk about. But um, I thought I understand what they were going for with the look, to where like his brain was sticking out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't mind the look, but with that said, all the concept art we've seen is light years better. You
Yes.
know, I don't know
What
if
what
they
he
were
what he was
afraid.
what he was supposed to look like.
Yeah, I don't. I think maybe they didn't want him looking like that dude from Green Lantern with the big head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, but I I know people that hate the look, and I understand why. It does look really goofy, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily mind it, mainly because I know what they were going for. But
Yeah.
there is a better design. That is what I'm going to
For,
say. There is a better
for
design.
sure. For sure. For sure.
I thought Tim Blake Nelson was good with what they gave him. He is not the problem. The problem is just he's a nothing villain. They tried making him a Zemo villain, and it didn't work. Didn't
Yeah.
work. I
That's
wasn't
that's why
invested.
that's where I got him as same as Zemo vibes. Like he kind of had the same motive as Zemo.
Um, and then from there we kind of move into the Top Gun action sequence. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put I'm gonna stop it right there, and I'm gonna come back to all the shit I didn't like, because from there on, that's pretty much all stuff I like.
Mm-hmm. It's really the
Joaquin,
opening of this movie. It's really the opening of this movie.
I did not like the opening of this movie at all. I thought it was very choppy. I thought the editing was all over the place. The
It
action
was.
and the was okay, but it just felt like we were thrown into it. There was no setup or nothing. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And it also looked really weird. Visually, it looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if because I
Mm-hmm.
saw it in IMAX, but it looked weird to me. Joaquin, man. Um, for those that don't know, the new Falcon. He was briefly in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which most people seem to forget. Apparently, I'm like, yes, he was in that show for like an
Yeah, he
episode. Or
was.
he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Half of this performance I fucking hated. I did not like this character. Half of it, I did not like this character. I found him very cringe and very annoying. when he was being serious and during the action sequences, I liked him. I thought he was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate the fact that the MCU kind of has this fascination with, oh, the sidekick has to be funny. The sidekick has to,
Yeah, that's that's
jokey.
that's and that's why I said I think I liked them, but those scenes were very cringy. So like there's
Did
a
not like
moment
that.
there's most of the moments when he's with Isaiah, he just feels like the need to try to explain new technology and stuff like that to him
Some of
every single
those I
time.
liked. I liked when he goes to look at his phone and he has the screen thing on his phone
He
and he
takes the
peels
screen
it off.
protector.
That was
He's like, "Oh, you
funny.
still got the plastic on." He's like, "What if I wanted that on there?"
That was funny. But just I don't know. I liked him more by the end of the movie
Yeah.
because he seemed very humbled. And now, do I think he's gonna stay that way? No. I think they're gonna go back to him being jokey and dumb. And I hope that's not the case. Because I liked
Mm,
him when he was being genuine and down to earth.
mm.
That's when I liked him the most. He wasn't all bad, but just parts of it I was like, "Ugh."
I just think there's a balance with it because, like I said, even though he wasn't doing much, but the scene where he's at the end when Sam is talking to him, and when he's laying in the bed, I like that moment with those two characters. Him basically telling him his move and stuff like that. But then we get a moment where he does like kind of crack jokes, but it's not like cringy. Like when he asks, he's like, my wings is out. How about you call, Wakanda and get a lick from me, or he say something that's like that's very Miami for you to say that. Like I did like that moment.
I didn't
His wings are
like
nice. Like, how about you call Wakanda to give me some new wings?
one of the jokes I didn't like was like we'll come back to this in a second. But there's like a dialogue scene where he's like, "Oh, why are his wings like that?" And they're like, "Oh, his wings are from vibranium. Even the wrapping paper was vibranium." I was like,
Yeah. He's like, that's a joke, and he gonna literally say that was a joke. I'm like, no, of course we know it's a joke.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Um, Black Widow Jr. Ruth. Before I get into my opinions on her, my opinion on her have nothing to do with her as a person or her political nonsense. I don't care about any of that. I didn't even know about any of that till a month before the movie came out. I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm talking about her from the character from the movie. Didn't like the actress. Didn't like the character. I thought both were garbage. Um,
I
there's
thought she was
several
fine.
there's several comic book characters in this movie that they just nerfed, if you will.
Well,
There's two
I think
army guys that are supposed to be comic characters that they
yeah,
just
yeah.
they're
I,
regular
thi- I,
army dudes.
I think they the Ruth thing. I think they went back and said that's not her. I think they went back and said that's not her. That one everyone talking about from the comics. I guess she's like another superhero or something like that. That's why they throw in the line that she's an ex-widow. Like they kind of try to go through all that.
No,
Even though she has like a little. It looked like she has a costume in the movie though. Like her little jacket looks like a costume. But
I
weird.
didn't like her at all. I found her very cringy, very
A
annoying.
lot of a lot of her stuff was cut too. There's scenes in the trailer that's not in the movie.
They're
That's with
just
her.
I don't know. She didn't do anything for me. I was like, ugh, I don't like you. Um, what else didn't I like? The pacing in this movie is fucking atrocious. I didn't like the pacing in this movie at all. The first act was moving okay. I was a little uninterested, but the pacing was fine. It was moving. The third act, the last 45 minutes, with again from the Top Gun scene to the end, moved at a lightning pace. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
everything from after Isaiah gets arrested until before the combat part, I was just like,
Yeah.
just like
But
this. I was like,
it felt like we were just jumping from place. It felt like we was jumping from place to place. So like for so choppy. Like okay, they escaped the camp. Now they're in this place, and now they're explaining. And now we got to do this. It's like okay, what is going on here?
and the dialogue in this movie is kind of atrocious at points. They there is so much excuse me, there's so much exposition in this movie. The other thing we haven't talked about this, Thunderbolt Ross, he's making this treaty to where I guess they can evenly spread adamantium, which
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fine. I mean, they said that they're using animanium for certain things, but I'm like, what are you really using animanium for,
Which
realistically?
I did like the callback. If you look at, he's giving a presentation of what they want to do, and you can see a human skeleton in one of those little displays, and of course that's a callback to what happened to Wolverine. But I to me, I like this though. This was interesting to me too. That they because the difference with vibranium is owned by a nation. They can choose what to do and what not to do with it because they
I
own
like
it. It's on their land. This
I like
this
the
the
idea.
the celestial that it's in the middle of nowhere. Anyone can claim it.
I like the idea of it, but I feel like it just got lost in the shuffle. You got
It
this
did though. It
Japanese
did.
leader that's a fucking idiot. He's like accusing the US of like messing with it. And I'm like, why would he give the adamantium to the Serpent Society to then send Sam on a death mission to go steal it back? That
Yeah,
doesn't make any fucking sense.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're
And
dumb.
and and and
He's
and,
so
and, he,
dumb.
and he even says that to him. He said, why would I make Captain America with it? I wouldn't even had him do it. I would just kept it myself. I wouldn't have to make this elaborate scheme to have him go get it. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, man. That part of the movie, I was just like, so the main core of this movie is just to me very uninteresting. The actual story of what's going on, I didn't connect with it. I was like, all right, fine. I will say this. I haven't talked about this. The tone to this movie was excellent. I hope that this kind of
Mhm.
carries over into Thunderbolts, although I think
Mhm.
Thunderbolts is going to be a little bit more jokey. But
Yeah, for
I
sure.
hope that they keep this level of like, it's not a cartoon, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. It
Right.
doesn't feel like I'm watching a
Yeah.
cartoon. It feels like I'm watching a movie
No.
take place in this world.
Right.
I'm trying to think, is that everything that I didn't like? I'm pretty sure. I guess we could talk about the reshoots a little bit. We mentioned it earlier. Everything with the Serpent Society feels like a reshoot. I mean, that
Hmm.
entire sequence with Giancarlo Esposito just feels like a whole reshoot because it happens
Hmm.
so quick. And I'm just
Yes.
like,
Yep.
oh
Yep.
man, like, um, jumping a little bit ahead. There's a whole funeral that's cut from this movie.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
Kevin, I was talking to Kevin, and he said, "Oh, what if they were gonna kill Joaquin, but they changed it?" And I was like,
I don't.
"That makes sense
I don't know.
because
I thought
it's
they
a
was.
military funeral.
I thought
Like,
it was gonna be. I thought Ross was gonna bite it.
no, how is Ross gonna bite it if Red Hulk is the villain?"
Well, that's why I thought that scene probably would have been at the end of the movie.
Oh,
Like that would have took
yeah,
place at the end
that's
of the
what I
movie.
was thinking too. But
Because I saw one of the breakdown videos, and Liv Tyler was at that
yeah,
funeral. Why would
yeah,
she be? Why would she be there? Even though she does show up in the movie in a different scene, but with her being there, that I feel like that was a reshoot as well, which makes me believe that they want to keep Harrison Ford around. They don't want him killed. They're gonna bring him back. Um, I don't know if he's not gonna come back as Red Hulk, but he'll come back as Thunderbolt Ross. Um,
but like that's just like one of the major things that is reshot. There's also a scene with Giancarlo Esposito, his last scene in the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, this feels so reshot. It's like
mm-hmm. Feels last minute, especially where they're at and everything. It just feels like yeah, they found
uh
a areas like we need to shoot this. Let's go
speaking of
shoot this.
last minute, there's one shot jumping. It's after the Top Gun part. There's a shot where the leader is talking to Sam in this little town square. Oh, so bad. How do I
And
explain it? It's like
that's another scene that felt like came out of nowhere. It just had
there's a
Sam is
it's a
just in the
scene.
courtyard and he shows up. Like what?
Yeah.
Did he
So the
call him there?
leader, I don't know. The leader is standing there. Like, so leader is here. It's gonna sound me weird describing it. Leader is here and Sam is here. It's like an over the shoulder shot. from Sam's POV, and you can literally fucking see the fuzzy green screen around the leader. I noticed it the second time, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why? Why
It
are you
doesn't help that he's it doesn't help that he's green as well. His
like
because it's because he's a green character.
literally you see Sam's shoulder and the background is all fuzzy and it looks like it's a cutout of the leader. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you guys doing? Why? It's so unnecessary. Like, y'all needed to do a reshoot for this? Really? This?
Yeah. I
Oh
mean, there's
my
a lot of scenes. I
god.
mean, even there's like, and I know this is a small scene, but there's a scene where the leader shows up to like somebody's house. I don't know if this guy was supposed to be important. He just kills him. He just kills him, and his wife was there. They both died, and I feel like that. What was that for? What was that for? It went nowhere. Like I said, next scene he's in the courtyard with Sam. Like, um, it doesn't make
I
any
mean,
sense. It doesn't make any sense.
that's pretty much it. I do want to talk about Thunderbolt Ross's arc in this movie because this happens before the Top Gun part. Um, his arc in this movie is that he's dying, and the leader is
He-
supplying him with
with
keeping
these
him
pills.
alive.
Mm-hmm.
And just this scene, man. I thought this scene was excellent. The way they did this,
You know,
I thought
when
Harrison
he's
Ford was
explaining
great.
when he's explaining Sam, yeah, I was dying. Like he's keep me these pills keep me alive.
Yeah, that was a very good scene. That I will say, the down to earth scenes in this movie kind of carry it for me. The
Yeah.
character moments in this movie are they like I said, both the acting and the moments to me are way better than this movie deserves. Especially Harrison
Yes.
Ford's performance.
I mean,
Like I know it
even
sounds like I'm blowing out of proportion or whatever. I thought Harrison Ford
yeah,
was fucking fantastic in this movie. Like
yeah.
legitimately. He was
Another
amazing.
another moment that Harrison Ford scenes where Sam bursts through, where he's in the bunker and he orders everyone to leave. We see that scene in the trailer, but that scene is so good. Harrison Ford
Let's talk
killed
about that
in
for a
that
second. First of all, they cut the best line in the fucking trailer where he goes, "You're not
Which
Steve
one?
Rogers." He goes, "You're right, I'm not." They cut
Oh,
it. He doesn't
yeah,
say,
Sam
"You're
didn't say
right,
that.
I'm not."
He's just quiet. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird because I think the way that scene plays out is more like I don't know. It's weird because the way Harrison Ford was coming at Steve Rogers wasn't. It was more like you're done, so get out of here. So that's why I
And,
don't
and,
think
and
that
let's talk about that.
line works. I don't know.
I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the fact that you called this man to the White House and said, "I want to rebuild the Avengers. I want to work with you." He basically like begged Sam because Sam is like, I don't know if I want to do this. He basically begs him.
Well,
He's like, "Come on, I want to give people something to believe in." 5 seconds later, oh no, get the fuck out. I don't want to work with you.
well,
What?
well, well, well. His life. He had an attempt on his life with the person that he brought to the White House.
Bro, but
It's like that's what he
it's
says. He's
not
like,
like,
"Well, your friend almost killed me. That's it. I'm done."
yeah, I understand that, but it's not like he was saying, "I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna investigate." He was literally said, "Let's work together." He
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Let's
Right,
work
right,
with everyone to figure it out." He didn't say, "Oh, just let me do it." He was like, "I'll work with them. Just let me help." And he's like, "Nah,
right,
get the fuck out." I'm
right.
like, that doesn't. I don't like that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
Anyway, the good stuff, the stuff that actually got me invested, shall we? Top Gun, aerial combat
Top
sequence.
Gun. Top Gun. That's all we keep. Top Gun.
Yeah,
It
this
did feel like
was
Top Gun though.
this was excellent. I would go as
Yes.
far as to say this is probably the best action sequence that we've gotten in Phase 5 in its entirety. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
including this over things that happen in Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm serious.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that.
Um, I thought this was phenomenal. Like legitimately, I thought this was phenomenal. I thought it looked visually excellent. Again, I saw this movie on IMAX. I thought it looked amazing in IMAX.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, the sound design was awesome. We got a little bit
Yes,
of
I was about
them
to say this. The
doing
sound was awesome. Yeah.
no music. I like
Yeah.
that stuff a lot.
Hmm.
And it was intense. I like how intense it got. This was the first time in the movie, other than Sidewinder's fight, that I was like, "Oh shit, what's gonna happen?"
Right.
They did try to repeat the Civil War accident with Joaquin, and I said, I do
Yeah.
not care about this character.
They definitely did. They definitely did. They definitely recreated the Civil
But
War
I did
scenario.
like how he got hurt, and Sam was like, "Oh, I'm going after him," and they're like, "Oh, we'll send search and rescue. You need to take that thing out now." I love that.
Right. Right.
I love that. That
Yeah.
was awesome, and I thought the way he did was awesome. Also, I love that Red Wing can use the shield. That was fucking awesome.
Yo.
That was
Red
awesome.
Wing grabbed the shield and blocked the things that was hitting behind us. I said, that's dope.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Which we're gonna go back to action. I love the way Sam uses the shield in this movie. I love the way he uses the shield in this movie.
We haven't talked about it. The way he fights is awesome. I like that. It feels different. It doesn't feel the same.
Yes.
He's got his little shield throws or whatever, but
he's not the highly skilled, but he's skilled enough where he's doing the right things.
And I also like that they make it an effort to where he doesn't always rely on his gadgets and stuff to fight. He will use his hands and win. I like that.
Yep.
This sequence was all I could talk about this for 20 minutes. This was awesome. I loved how the score in this scene was excellent too.
Yes.
It was very bombastic. I loved the way they shot the Celestial. It looked very big, reminded me of Gareth Edwards style.
Yes.
I love them flying around.
When we saw it in the trailer, I love that we get a call back to this thing, because this thing we haven't talked about this thing in the longest. When's the last time they referenced the Celestial in the Indian Ocean? None. Like, obviously, like, they don't even touch Eternals. Now we're finally touching it because it's there. Like, no one is talking about this giant thing sticking out of the freaking earth. Like, come on, you guys.
But I love them flying around it. I like that it's called Celestial Island too. Now, seeing the trailer for Thunderbolts, I don't think this is the thing, but it was a rumor that the plot for Thunderbolts was that it was either Thunderbolts or this movie, but like that there were going to be people going in on this island to take adamantium, and they were going to have to go in and stop everybody because it was going to create like a war low key. If that was going to be the plot for this movie, I think that is 8 million times better than what we got.
Yeah, which I wanted just a quick tidbit. That should have been the plot. The plot should have been that adamantium is the MacGuffin. That's what we're going after. But it was, like you said, it was so small and minute that it was breezed over. It was so breezed over that the leader's plan wasn't about adamantium. It was about starting a war and trashing Thunderbolt's character. That was the plot technically, which adamantium should have been. Yeah, we're gonna, for sure. Which adamantium should have been the MacGuffin. That should have been what everyone was after. Everyone.
But yeah, the sequence was, I already know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're blowing it out of proportion." No, I genuinely thought this was a very cool action sequence. It was very well done, and it I've seen people say, "Oh, it was okay. They were flying around." I can't relate. I actually really like this action sequence. This was very good. This was a very big highlight of the movie.
Mostly all the stuff in all the other movies with Sam flying is some of the best moments. Because in Winter Soldier, all that stuff is awesome. Like, there's a moment where he's like flying and he drops down and he knows the missile is gonna hit the window. It's like, oh, you just gave me my end to go into the building, into the helicarrier. Like he has a moment where he literally just jumps off the helicarrier. It's awesome.
So I'm gonna briefly talk about that. The leader is somehow talking to Thunderbolt Ross. I don't know how he would, because they keep showing him on the phone. I'm like, how are you on the phone and you're talking through military comms? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't understand how he's doing that, but sure, whatever. It's a movie, whatever. We see the hints of Red Hulk. We'll save I know what you're gonna say. We'll save it when we get there.
I was talking about the moment when they're arguing and he's hearing the argument, and I guess it's like a ringing noise, which they kind of hint that in the beginning of the movie. He has there's a noise that he can hear. And he smashes the table, and I didn't realize he cracked the table.
Yeah.
He's like, oh snap, like, oh.
There's something regarding Red Hulk that I didn't see brought up until recently. We'll talk about it when we get to the White House scene because I think it's actually something that's very interesting. So Joaquin gets
we
hurt,
see a
and
we see a glimpse of him turning the Red Hawk in the scene as
yeah,
well. Like we see his eyes red and stuff, which I loved all that too.
so Joaquin gets hurt, and he's on, he's getting surgery, and we got Bucky surprise cameo,
Yeah,
this was
which
nice.
I did not expect that at all.
Neither did I. This was very nice. I thought this was an excellent scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Um, and I like how this scene anyway, segues straight into Thunderbolts. Quite
Yes,
literally, because he goes, "Oh, I have a
yes,
Congress meeting," and the trailer we see he's at a Congress meeting.
right,
Um, I like that. I was like, okay, cool. This project's gonna lead straight into the next one, which it should. This
right,
project anyway should lead into Thunderbolts.
right,
Um, and I feel like it's going to in terms of the plot. Like, hey, we had a Red Hulk show up with no Avengers team. We need to
right,
do something about that. Um, I don't know how smart it is that Valentina's answer to that is the Thunderbolts, but sure.
right, right.
Um, but yeah, this scene was very good. Um, and this leads into basically our third. The leader gets captured. It's a nothing scene. Move on. Um, we get a nice scene with Thunderbolt Ross. He calls Betty, and we get a nice little
Hmm.
conversation. She says something very stupid. She's like, "Oh, I should have called you after the the
When
beginning
he
of the movie."
almost got assassinated, when he almost
I
got
was like,
assassinated.
"Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
should have." Like, dude, what?
your dad
Um,
almost died. Like,
yeah. Uh, but yeah, that was a nice scene. And truthfully, I thought this happens before she shows up in the movie. When the phone call happened, I said, "Oh, she's not gonna be in this movie."
yeah, you
Because I
thought
thought
that
the
was going to
first
be
scene,
her.
yeah,
As yeah,
I legit thought that
yeah.
was gonna be. Even Kevin was like, "Is she really on the phone?" I was like, "I think she's on the phone, bro." Third act, third act. We get our big.
Yes.
He's giving a press conference, and I like that everyone's throwing these claims at him. He's like, "Oh, this happened. Oh, this happened." And
Mhm.
he's like, "No, I need to prove that we're innocent." I really like that. It shows that his arc from Incredible Hulk to now, it has
Mhm.
changed, and he has changed as a
Yeah,
character. We even see it at the
yeah.
very end, but
He
it
wants to be
it, it
better.
shows. Yeah, he wants to be better, and he wants to stand for something. I really like that.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously he gets very pissed. And okay, before we talk about this,
I didn't like that scene.
I hate the fact that they're like, "Oh, leader turned himself in." I was like, "What the fuck? How? What?" It's like, bro, this just happened 30 seconds
Yeah.
ago. How do you have this information? Unless the scene happened in terms of time of the movie, it happened like way
Yeah.
earlier in the day. I don't. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I can think of.
Yeah. Or I like to think that the leader set everything up for him to go off like that. Like
That too,
he already knew. He already
because
knew that he was going to get captured. So let me go ahead and make
he
certain
plays
things,
he
the
plays
audio
the
from their
recording. Yeah.
conversation. Right. So maybe it was
Um.
his setup for like, okay, I know exactly what to do to get him over the edge. The fact that I turn myself in and it's gonna make news, and
Yeah.
he is the reason why this has happened. So
So he gets angry and turns into Red Hulk, and we have our third act fight. Now, before we talk about the fight, somebody brought a good point, and Alex brought it up to me today, but he wasn't the first person I saw say about this. That the and Remington, since you're like really the only one interacting, I'm sure you're gonna have some thoughts on this. That they should have never revealed that Red Hulk was in this movie. That it should have been a surprise. And it's something I didn't think about until somebody brought up the point. Because, but when I saw the movie, I was like, "Oh, okay, we got Red Hulk, whatever." But somebody brought up the point that, like, oh, Mark agrees that it would have been a very nice surprise if we got Red Hulk, because that I don't remember the trailers to Incredible Hulk, but I don't remember if they showed Abomination like in the trailers or
They
whatever.
showed Abomination in the
They
trailer.
did.
They did. They did.
But the point is that the movie kind of makes it a twist because there is a twist regarding Thunderbolt Ross because we find out that the leader is poisoning the pills with gamma,
Right.
and that's
Right.
what's making him turn into Red Hulk.
Right.
That's a twist. That is a twist, and I can see the point of they shouldn't have revealed Red Hulk. If they had did that, the movie would have been better off for it. Truth be told, but you have two problems now. One, this is gonna sound stupid because they're a movie studio, but one, how do you market the movie? You know, how do you market
without
the
the Red
movie?
Hulk. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Because
he's literally on the posters everywhere.
yep.
But I think that could have it could have been done. It could have, but the thing is, would people have been as interested? That's the
Right.
question.
Because
Would it
because
have
to me
made?
that made me really interested in the movie, seeing him on screen
Would
when we
it
saw
have
the
now?
trailer.
For me personally, Red Hulk being in this movie didn't do anything for me. Truth be told, I was like, oh, I'm not talking like I'm talking about like seeing him in the trailer. I was like, oh, cool.
Right.
Sure. It didn't like I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to see this movie for Red Hulk. No, I did not
Right.
fucking care. um, the other issue you have is who is going to keep their mouth shut about that?
Yes. Well, that's the issue. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a McDonald's or it was some toy
It was
industry.
McDonald's.
They
See,
released it.
but the thing,
They
see, but the
released it.
thing with
They
that,
released
the
it
thing
already.
with that was that wasn't necessarily their fault because the movie was supposed to come out at a certain point, and it
Right.
was something.
Right.
It was a
It was
contract with the toys or something.
it was delayed. It was delayed.
It
You're right.
they
You're
it
right.
was like a contract with the toys or something, and so they had to release the toys. It wasn't
Right.
really their fault, you know.
Right.
But the thing is, how do you hide that? Because people
Yeah.
fucking Thursday night were already spoiling that Bucky was in the movie.
Yes. I'm glad I
Fucking
didn't see that.
a
I'm
two
I'm
minute
so glad I didn't see that.
a 2 minute cameo got spoiled. And you think
Yeah. I'm
people
so
were
glad I
not
didn't see
gonna
that.
open their mouths about Red Hulk in this movie? Come on, bro.
Yeah. I'm so glad I didn't see that. I'm so glad I didn't
Everyone
see
in
that.
their mommy would have came out that theater and gone on Twitter. Oh my god, the Red Hulk fight was awesome.
See, like I said, only reason why I said that is because it's the third act. I can see if this scene, which I thought it was going to be in the middle of the movie, I did not think this was going to be the climax.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this scene was going to take place in the middle, like this was going to be the middle action sequence, and then I really thought the celestial battle scene was at the end. I thought that was the end of the movie. I didn't think the Hawk fight was going to be the end, so that's why I thought when they released him, I'm like, oh, he's not. It's just a one action sequence that is going to be the moneymaker shot, like the Hulkbuster scene against Hulk.
Yeah,
that's what I thought we were going to get, but no, it was the opposite. So that's the only reason why I say now I kind of wish they wouldn't have revealed it because when he shows up, it's like this is the end. Oh, this would have been awesome to see this.
yeah. I
As
guarantee
a
you,
reaction.
if they had kept it a secret, I guarantee you would not have made it to Tuesday without finding out. I guarantee you.
For sure. For sure.
I would have because I saw it Thursday, but I guarantee you. Hearing people talk about it, I do kind of wish it was a surprise. But like I said, for me, I did not really care that Red Hulk was in this movie before seeing it, and so it wasn't really on my mind, you know. But I think it would have been nice. I think it would have been a nice little like, hey, like look at this, that's cool. But realistically, when you watch the movie again, you're gonna know he's in there. So it's like,
right.
you know, yeah. So with that said, let's get into the actual fight. First of all, like I said before, the CGI on Red Hulk I think is fantastic. This is
Yes.
probably the best Hulk anything we've seen in the MCU, visual effects wise. I thought he looked phenomenal. Truth be told, I thought they transported his face onto the Hulk flawlessly.
That's the one right there. Because I guess we can piggyback. The only person that does the Hulk now obviously is Mark Ruffalo. Because even if you look back at the Thor Ragnarok Hulk. To me that doesn't really look like Mark Ruffalo if you were to look at it. This looks like Harrison Ford. Like this looks like Harrison Ford. There's a shot where it's at the end of the fight, and they show him like just looking, and it looks like Harrison Ford. Like it looks like him as a Red Hulk. Like goodness gracious, like man, I hope Harrison Ford just looked at him like, damn, they did a great job with my face. Goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he I thought he looked excellent. I thought that, they got the gray in his beard, they got the gray hair too. He looked awesome. That was one of my biggest fears. I said, "Oh my god, how is this fucking thing gonna look?" But he looked amazing. Every single shot of him looked amazing. I was like, I gotta, I gave these guys a lot of shit in the beginning of this, but I was like, you know what? When they do things right, they do things right. I can't shit on them. They did this right.
Yeah, seeing him go basically Hawk out, like
Yes, this was awesome. This was
hearing
awesome.
him roar. Like when's the last time we heard a Hulk roar? Like just seeing him like
And
just destroying
it was
things,
awesome.
throwing things.
It
Like
was it
I was
was
just waiting for tanks to show up and him just destroy some tanks real quick.
yeah,
My issue, I kind of wish we would have got more with him
yeah.
destroying things, but I know they had to get him away from the area. Which seeing him leap like he leaps, I'm like, when's the last
That
time
was
we
cool.
saw this, dude? Like, when's the last time we saw
Very cool.
this?
It's a very short fight, but for the fight that it is, I thought it was cool. And I saw somebody say, "Oh, I don't like when they make it that like the final boss of the movie isn't really the villain; it's a villain that happens by accident." I was like, I mean, I don't mind it. I like the fact that it wasn't really Ross's fault that he turned into the
He was a
Hulk.
he was a conduit. He was more like the leader made him do that. The leader turned him into the Red Hulk.
Yeah, I liked that personally. But this fight was very good. Hulk was throwing him around a lot. He looked like a fucking ping pong ball bouncing through shit
Mm-hmm.
with his
Mm-hmm.
vibranium wings.
Yeah, he destroyed one
And
of his wings. Didn't he?
well, yeah,
Destroyed it.
he destroys his suit towards the end of the fight. But I thought Sam did a great job holding his own. I like him using Red Wing and his other drone, to
Mm-hmm.
distract him. I think he destroys
He
both
had
of
two
them.
drones. Yeah,
Yeah.
two drones.
Um.
I'm a piggyback what Remington said earlier. I thought this is where Betty Ross was going to show up.
Yeah.
I thought
And
she
I would
was
have
going
liked
to
that.
come in here because Sam to calm him down. Like, look where we're at. This is the moment where what you talk about with Betty, and I thought she was going to come out to calm him down. That would have been awesome. Even though we get her at the end of the movie, this would have been the scene I would love to see her come and say, "Dad, we talked about having a walk here. This is what you want. You don't. This is not you." It
I
should have
like the
been Betty,
fact
not
that it ends, the cherry blossoms. I like that they put emphasis on that. That was the thing with him and Betty, and that's where it ends.
yeah. When he grabbed it with his Hulk hand, you see his big
Yeah.
Hulk hand grabbed the little.
And I liked, I know it's a thing from the comics, the fact that he like emits fire like that. That's cool.
Yes, it's awesome. Actually, it's a dope visual because when he's getting shot,
Yeah.
you can see the bullets hit him in his like
Yeah.
red, like yeah, like
Mhm.
the
That was
detail.
cool.
I'll give it to him. They did a great job with the detail for him for sure.
I was just about to say this, Keith, that would have reminded me of that. Only
Yeah,
done
right.
probably better. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
What was not awesome was the fucking green screen at the end of this fight.
Yeah. It definitely feels like they're not where they're at. Definitely not where they're at.
Listen, the one thing I can commend them on, not all of the green screen is not. It's not fucking Quantumania to where like 85% of the green screen is just horrendous. But my God, this is the worst shit I've ever seen in the MC. Bro, it looked like they got like a fucking light bulb right on Sam's head. And it's like, I don't know what happened. It looks so bad. Like, really bad. And mind you, I'm watching this in IMAX. I'm at the Lincoln Center IMAX. For those who don't
Hmm.
know, that is one of the biggest IMAXs in the United States of America. So imagine how big and how bad that shit looked. It was it was bad. It's fucking embarrassing. I don't understand why that one shot had to be reshot. You're not shooting a CGI character. You're shooting only Sam. Why do you need to
Right.
put this green screen around him?
Hmm.
I don't get it. It looks so bad. It looks fucking horrible. And it took me out of the moment. Because the moment was fine. But man, it was just like, oh my god. Um I know Remington was saying he shouldn't have been able to calm him down. I liked this. I thought this was fine. It showed that
I have no issue
he,
with it, but I thought this is where Betty was going to come
yeah,
into play.
it showed that he was still kind of like, oh, it's Sam. I recognize him.
Hmm.
I like that.
Hmm.
Truthfully, during the entire fight, I was just saying the sun's getting real low. Sun's getting real low.
Right. I thought he was going to make that joke, but it wouldn't make sense because he wasn't there for that. Sam wasn't there for that.
Yeah. But we got a resolution. They put him in the raft, which
I did like that too.
I like that. And they go into the raft and he's walking around and I'm not even paying attention to him. I'm looking around. I'm like, are there any other people here? Because for those who have seen Jessica Jones season 3, there's a certain somebody in the raft.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's season 2 or season 3, but I know all I've been seeing is, oh, that person should have been in the raft. Um, which I hope she is. Um, I don't want to say he hated him. He didn't hate him. Not after the,
No,
the part on the
no,
boat. No, he didn't hate him at all.
no.
Um, he hated the leader. That's who he hated.
Right.
But Thunderbolt Ross, I don't want to say he puts himself in the raft, but
I,
he's like, I
I
need to
think he
be
does.
responsible.
That's basically putting himself in there because he's
Yeah,
owning to his mistakes. Because when Sam says that you did the right thing, he says you owned up to your mistakes. You're paying for your mistakes.
Remington. From what I've heard, a certain character from Jessica Jones ends up in the raft at the end of season 3. I won't say who to not spoil that show. I have a feeling Alex knows who I'm talking about though.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll say I'll spoil it. Who cares?
it's Trish.
Yeah,
But he puts himself in the raft to take responsibility, which I like, and I like that he says like, "Oh, the country needs to move on and needs to see that I'm being responsible," which I like. And but it kind of sucks because I'm wondering like, oh, when he gets out, can he run for president again? Probably not.
he can't. Nope.
Which would suck because like I hate the fact that like in the movie he doesn't necessarily do anything wrong. The whole movie is him trying to do the right thing.
Hmm.
Like that's what I like about him too. He's not making like stupid mistakes. The whole movie is just him trying to keep control and do the right thing, which I appreciate. Again, it shows a bit of him moving on, developing as a
Right.
person. But they're like, "Oh, we got some time to kill and somebody's here to see you." And it's Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. Um,
Yep.
thought this was nice. This was a nice little scene. It
I like
definitely
like
looked
that.
reshot.
If Trump can, Thunderbolt Ross can. I like that. Thank you. I like that.
Um, what was I gonna say? This looked reshot, but
Definitely, because she looked totally like she's not there.
yeah,
It looks like she's not there. She looks CGI. Like they shot it, and then we need to place her in this moment because it
whatever.
doesn't look like she's there.
But he leaves, and as we see from the post-credit scene, the leader is there too, which we'll talk about that in a
Hmm.
second. But he leaves. He goes to see Joaquin, and Joaquin basically tells him, "Oh, well, he sees Isaiah first. He's like, oh yeah, I got a date with Ruth," which I was like,
That's
okay.
random.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But he goes to see Joaquin, and Joaquin is basically like, oh, I always wanted to be like you. I like how Sam goes, "The Falcon rises." That was funny.
Right. I like that.
Um,
I
but
like this moment. I like this moment
yes,
between these two
this
characters.
was a nice little scene to end the movie. Yeah, that roll credits and all that fun stuff, and we get our post credit scene that's supposed to leave us with such excitement.
All the way at the
Fucking
end.
terrible.
Not even in, we get the animation credits.
Yeah.
We gotta wait till all the way at the end credits to see this one,
Yeah.
60-second scene of nothing.
Yeah.
So one, Sam walks in like he's on stage, a sound stage, says, I told you we're gonna lose that bet. You start the scene off saying this terrible line that you guys mentioned earlier in the movie. Like, what is going on here? Like, oh my god. Oh my god.
But yeah, the leader's basically like, "Oh, are you gonna be able
You
to
think
defend this world from the other
you you
worlds or whatever?"
you think you're the only world? There are other worlds out there. We fucking know. We watched Sam was involved in the events from Infinity War and Endgame. He knows about the first Avengers movie. We know there are other worlds out there. We know that there's other universes out there. We know
You
this
know,
because the events of Endgame affected those things. So
truth
who
be told,
cares
it
what the
goes
hell this thing has to bring?
it goes hand in hand with the rest of the movie because this idiot thinks he's smarter than everybody, claiming, "Oh, yeah, I know everything." Bitch, you don't know shit. We know everything that you know before you even know it. Shut the fuck up. All right, go away, please.
But I guess
Yeah.
it was a reminder that Secret Wars is coming, but did it though? Because you could have put that scene in other movies and it would have kind of made more sense. But this one it doesn't, because what he's saying it doesn't imply to Secret Wars.
Truthfully, I don't understand how he knows any of that, but that's a discussion for another day. I don't give a shit. Um, but yeah, Captain America: Brave New World, man. Um, like I said, I enjoyed the movie very much. So I talked positively about it for like 30 minutes before talking about my nonsense. But
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the movie a lot. I saw it twice. I felt the same about it the second time. I liked it enough. Um, do I think this is a small first step into getting the MCU back on track? Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it's a major step? No, I don't. For
We're
one,
not back, guys. We're not back.
no. For
We're not
one,
back.
they need to get rid of the shows. They need to get rid of the show. I was telling AJ about this. They need to get rid of the shows because I feel like they have lost the core concept of what the shows were intended to be, and they're just making the shows to make the shows. They need to get rid of the shows. I
Well,
truthfully
if
do.
you're gonna make the shows, give me something like Daredevil. Give me something like Daredevil, because I don't think Daredevil is
But
going to be involved in Secret Wars.
I know that, but that's my problem. I'm okay with Daredevil. Obviously I'm okay with Daredevil because Daredevil's peak, sure. But what does Daredevil matter? Realistically, what does it matter?
Well, technically, no, not to the grand. Like my thing is, if you're gonna give me these smaller, minute things, give me something that's in TV show form. Don't make it where I have to watch the TV show and then watch the movie.
Okay, but what I'm
You know,
saying is this is what I'm saying though. We're at a point where every project has been kind of throwaway in terms of the overall story. What I
right.
want is, let's say we get like 2, 3 movies that have to do with the overarching story and a couple of shows that get the overarching story. If that was the case, sure, give me Daredevil Born Again to where it has nothing to do with what's going on. I'm okay with that. But when we're getting a whole bunch of projects that don't fucking matter to the story,
Right.
that's when
Right.
I'm saying, yeah, I don't want this shit anymore.
Right.
But if we were getting
That's
like, if we were
that's when
getting
it
like
becomes
phase one to phase
quantity
three,
over quality.
if we were getting phase 1 to phase 3 to where every movie mattered, and then in between somewhere we got Daredevil Born Again, I'd be like, okay, fuck it.
Right.
It's a side adventure. I don't care. Fuck it.
Right.
You
Right.
know. But now we're at a point where all these things haven't really mattered. So that's why I'm
Right.
saying get rid of them. But If we get back to the point where these things matter, sure, I'm cool with side stuff. But you know, I don't know. We're like I said, I've been saying it before, time and time again. We need several good projects. We need Thunderbolts to be a banger. We need Fantastic Four
Mm-hmm.
to be a banger. I
Right.
unfortunately feel like the movies are going in the right direction, but the shows are not. And again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not counting Daredevil Born Again because Daredevil Born Again is not really an MCU show. It's bouncing off of Netflix.
Right.
What I'm talking about with the shows is Ironheart and Wonder Man. We're gonna be on this great streak with the movies, hopefully, and then Ironheart's gonna be the fucking speed bump to where I'm like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, bro, come on.
Yeah. Do I really care about this?
I pray everything holy after Wonder Man. This is it. Discounting the animated stuff.
Right.
I hope after this is finito. We're done with these damn shows. Please. I know we're getting the stupid Vision Quest show, but I mean,
Well, they I think they green like Daredevil season 2 already too.
well, yeah, they're
Well,
filming that. I think.
yeah, they're filming that too. So technically we're getting another season of Daredevil. I don't know if they're gonna stick with Born Again season. I don't know if they're gonna stick with that or gonna change the title, but they are already started filming season 2 for that show.
I'm
If
okay
they
with
are
it
calling
being
it a
born.
season 2.
I'm okay with it being born again. Are you
Right.
serious? Okay.
You have no hope for Fantastic Four? Well, sorry. Sorry to
No,
hear
I'm still stuck on this.
that.
Cool.
You enjoyed that? All right.
Anyway, if you guys have seen Captain America: Brave New World, and or if you didn't and you came back to this, let us know what you thought about it. Both of our my score is a 3.5. Alex's was at a low 4, but
Very
let us
low
know what
4.
you thought about it in the comments if you are catching the replay. Moving on to our final update, it is the physical media update. I have three
I
things.
have
I
none.
don't know if you
You can go
none.
ahead. I have nothing. I have not been out Blu-ray hunting in the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks.
So I was supposed to get two things, but I ended up canceling them both because they didn't ship. Amazon jackasses. So I only ended up getting two things, three things. So the first thing I got, Alex is gonna like this. I ended up buying This Is It, with a
Nice.
slip. I found it for
Nice.
$7.
I wish
Um,
mine had a slip.
I bought it because it had the slip. That's why I bought it. Um,
Nice.
I probably watched this as a kid. I haven't watched it in my adulthood. But I do want to. I am a big Michael Jackson fan, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Um, and I'm
I
excited
cried
to
in the
check it
theater. I would say that in the theater. I cried. I definitely cried for sure.
out. The next thing I got is the Tom and Jerry CinemaScope. Yes, CinemaScope collection. So this is
Nice.
when they started changing the animation to where it was like widescreen and it was clearer. I bought the Golden Collection Volume 1 Blu-ray when they re-released it, and that was an immaculate set. So I got this. For those, first of all, I love Tom and Jerry. Obviously, Tom and Jerry is like peak physical humor comedy. I love that show. Um, this is once again an immaculate Blu-ray. The quality on the shorts here is just incredible. So if
Nice.
you are, man, I think it was only like $20. So if you're a fan of Tom and Jerry, I highly recommend this. I'm hoping we get more. I'm hoping we get the Golden Collection Volume 2 and maybe the set after this one to where they started changing the animation again, even though I don't love those shorts as much.
Right.
And the last thing that I got was so as you guys remember last week, I had a whole bunch of physical media from that individual that passed away. Rest in peace. This was the last remaining thing that Kevin ended up getting, and I was like, oh, I don't have that. Let me get that. It is the Bourne 5-movie collection. This is
Nice.
Blu-ray, not 4K, but I do like this set, very much so.
Nice. I
I
got
don't love
steelbook for that one.
I don't love the fucking sleeves, but you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I very much like this set. Um, I do want to give these another watch. I watched only the first one and I didn't even finish it. I was not feeling it, so I ended up turning it off. But I do want to go back to these because I know these were kind of like the pinnacle of action at a point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Shaky cam though. Shaky cam. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of that, but it is what it is. Remington says, I got Wicked. I got Wicked, I think last week. I got Wicked. Yes, physical media for the win. Absolutely. I saw a post today that made me laugh. It was like, oh, this movie isn't on the 13 different streaming services that you have, but you can rent it for $3.99. I was like, or you can just buy it once and own it forever on physical media.
Right. Right. For sure. You already know me. You see my background. You see my background. You already know. If you watch my
That
videos,
is,
you know I'm physical media for the win.
yeah, that's it.
So yeah, obviously you guys know me. I'm still working on my complete Blu-ray collection video. I've been going through a lot, working like crazy, working out. So I really haven't had enough time. Been exhausted and tired. I actually overslept today and was late to work today because
Ooh.
I was pretty exhausted. But I'm still working on that video. I know the Blu-ray hunt videos hasn't really been coming from my channel, but I'm gonna make a video soon talking about that as well. Like of just gonna get into my thoughts on that. And like I said, I'm still working on my Blu-ray collection video. So I don't think I got updates for my channel. I didn't make a Captain America review because I knew I was just gonna come on here and just talk about it. So I just waited to come on here. So I'm gonna probably make a short or something. Say if you want to know my thoughts, go check out the Nerd Talk channel if you want to see my thoughts on the video or on this movie. But that's really the only updates I have for my channel. Tyler.
Yeah, man. Next week we will be taking a break. We've been like past 3 weeks straight, so we've been taking a break. We will be back the following week with a watch along if you choose to accept it, because we will be starting our Mission Impossible watch along series, baby. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. We will be going through most of the Mission Impossible movies, doing watch alongs for all of them. The only one we will not be doing is Ghost Protocol because we did that before Dead Reckoning Part 1. So we will be doing Mission Impossible 1, 2, White Doves included, 3, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and Dead Reckoning Part 1. Anticipation for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Very excited about that. And we'll also fill in the gaps because the beginning of the year is miserably fucking slow. So
yes,
we will be filling in those gaps. I'm very excited to start those watch alongs. We'll have a couple to get through, slogs, and after that we're at the peak, baby.
Yes, sir.
Also for me, I will be putting out a review for The Monkey. Probably Sunday or Monday. I will be seeing it Saturday. I'm very excited. Osgood Perkins. I also put up a review for Captain America: Brave New World on my Instagram page. Go check that out if you have not already. Also, leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. We are at 255 subscribers at the moment.
Yes, sir.
Making our way. Let's get to that goal of 300. Let's say let's get to 275 by the time Dead Reckoning Part 1 comes out.
I like that.
Reckoning Part 1. The Final Reckoning.
The Final Reckoning.
Taking the Part 1 off of the fucking Dead Reckoning shit. Jesus Christ, Paramount. But yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it. I ain't got nothing else. So if you guys are new to the channel, hit the like button. Please subscribe for more. More stuff will be coming from all of us. Go check out AJ. I know he really hasn't put enough content, but still go check him out on his YouTube channel and Instagram. I know he hasn't been a part of the streams. He got things going on in his life as well. We miss him. We wish, can't wait for him to come back when he can come back. Yeah, I have nothing else. Hope you guys enjoy your night. Watch a movie. Go watch a movie. Go watch it. Go buy a movie. Go out and buy some physical media. God damn it. But yeah, hope you guys have a good night, and we're on this one. Peace out.